All right, so move on to the next segment. I'll be sharing my fight prediction for this weekend's fight taking place in the heavyweight division in the sport of boxing between Tyson Fury and Makhmudov. Now, this weekend, Tyson Fury will be returning to the sport of boxing in a heavyweight bout against Makhmudov. That will be streamed live on Netflix Saturday night across the world in the sport of boxing. So, I do have two storylines heading into this fight. Storyline number one is going to be the return of the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury. Now, Tyson Fury is actually coming out of retirement for the 5th time in his boxing career. Now, if you guys followed the podcast for quite some time now, when the news broke, a year or so ago, when Tyson Fury said he was going to retire from the sport of boxing, I said he's going to come back. He was just in disbelief that he lost 2 times for the first time in his boxing career to Alexander Usyk. He just needed to recover, recoup, and get his mind right to return back to the sport. Because those were 2 grueling battles against Alexander Usyk in the calendar year 2024. So I knew he would be coming back because the money's just too big right now in boxing, especially for a big box office attraction, worldwide star like Tyson Fury. So I knew he'd be coming back, and especially for a future payday against Anthony Joshua. So Tyson Fury is back. I want to see how this version of Tyson Fury is. And I think this is Tyson Fury's last run because he has retired a million times, but he's in his late 30s now. He's no spring chicken anymore. And the question is still out there, the jury's still out there, I should say, is Tyson Fury still in his prime? And I do like the adjustment that Tyson Fury made for his camp, his preparation for this fight against Makhmudov. And that's removing his big mouth father, John Fury. Now, if you guys know John Fury is the big mouth that builds up fights for his sons, Tyson Fury. And, of course, he's done it for Tommy Fury as well when Tommy Fury's fought guys like KSI and Jake Paul. But I think removing your father, even though it's a painful thing, removing your father, a big distraction like John Fury, a big mouth to the media, and I would say, aggressive person in the corner in between rounds when you only get 45 to 60 seconds to game plan for the next round, removing him honestly might be one of the best things that Tyson Fury has done this late in his boxing career. So we're going to see what version of the Gypsy King we're going to see Saturday night on Netflix. And then my final storyline is, can Makhmudov pull off the unthinkable, pull off the huge upset, and prove that Father Time is undefeated? Because I just mentioned Tyson Fury is in his late 30s, guys. He's 37 years of age. Could an upset be in the making? Father Time catches up to everybody in sports, in combat sports. If you don't have the reaction time, if your legs aren't underneath you, the sport will pass you by and take you out. Father Time will take you out on your way out in the sport. So we have seen Tyson Fury in several wars in his boxing career. Could the mileage finally be catching up to the Gypsy King Tyson Fury? It could Makhmudov pull off the unthinkable, streaming live on Netflix around the world. But enough of the storylines. Let's get to the tail of the tape here. Makhmudov is 21-2 in his boxing career, has 19 victories coming away of knockout, stands at 6'5" with a reach of 76 inches. Then Tyson Fury is 34-2 and 34 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw in his boxing career. 24 victories come away of knockout. Stands at 6'9" with a reach of 85 inches. So the height and the reach goes in favor of the Gypsy King Tyson Fury. We'll see if the height and reach plays a factor for him in the ring against Makhmudov this weekend in the sport of boxing. So these are the following game plans that I have for these respective fighters to follow. Starting off with Makhmudov. I think Makhmudov has to use the right hand. Now, I have done a lot of studying over the last couple of days of Makhmudov because I will be honest, I'm not a casual, but I was not familiar with this heavyweight Russian fighter's game. I've probably seen him once or twice on a Turkey card, but I'm not really familiar like I'm familiar with the other heavyweights. But Makhmudov does have a dangerous right hand. And I think that's his best punch in his arsenal and his boxing toolbox. Like, I've seen Deontay Wilder drop Tyson Fury with a right hand in the past. I've seen other fighters use a counter left hook to stun or hurt Tyson Fury, because Tyson Fury is a guy that we all know his chin is not indestructible, and nobody's chin is indestructible at the heavyweight division. But Tyson Fury has had a habit several times in his boxing career, leaving his chin up in the air too many times, trying to throw a punch and not having the reaction time to be alert defensively to cover up and take a big shot. So I think the right hand for Makhmudov could be the golden opportunity for him to possibly win this fight. Or if that's not there, use the counter left hook. Because like I said, if Tyson Fury's throwing, he's not a guy that has a reaction time to get back alert defensively, and he will leave his chin up in the air. So that's a good game plan for Makhmudov to capitalize on Tyson Fury's defensive mistakes and his reaction time to see if it's still there at 37 years of age. And that could be the money shot that could win him the fight, honestly. Next, Makhmudov needs to target the body. Now, I've seen in tape and watching Tyson Fury in his previous fights, targeting the body has not really hurt him, but it slowed his pace down because Tyson Fury is nearly 300 pounds. I don't care how good you are. If you're taking several shots to the body, you're going to slow down in any division in boxing. So Makhmudov can slow down Tyson Fury, soften up his midsection, his body. I've seen fighters like Alexander Usyk do this in the 2 fights against Tyson Fury. I even seen Deontay Wilder try this in the trilogy against Tyson Fury. He had some success. Deontay Wilder actually had some success doing that because when he was landing punches to the body, would back up Tyson Fury, make him regain, or I should say rethink, and try to think what I can do to avoid being hit with the big body shots, because clearly you can see it was slowing Tyson Fury down in those respective fights. And also, what Makhmudov has in common is he's also an orthodox fighter like Alexander Usyk and Deontay Wilder. Orthodox fighters were having their way against Tyson Fury, landing the body shot. So I think Makhmudov should try his chances and target the body to soften up Tyson Fury to see if he can hurt Tyson Fury to the body and slow him down in the ring, because we do know that Tyson Fury does have the clear mismatch with the footwork, and I'll get to that in a few moments. But last but not least, Makhmudov cannot run out of gas against Tyson Fury. Now, let's face it, guys. Makhmudov, at best, is a B-, C+ fighter at best. So, Makhmudov, you got to have a puncher's chance in the heavyweight division. And that's why the heavyweight division is so fun and entertaining to watch. Against tough opponents, I've seen Makhmudov on tape run out of gas against certain opponents. So I think he cannot run out of gas. He has to be prepared to fight all 12 rounds in this boxing fight, and has to have the punches, land the punches perfectly, and cannot be one-dimensional. Have a boxing game plan against Tyson Fury. Those are the following game plans I have for Makhmudov. And next, for the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury has to be the aggressor from round 1 to however long this fight lasts for Saturday in the sport of boxing. He has to fight coming forward. I think he has to be aggressive, bring the fight to Makhmudov. And like I just was beginning to mention, it's a huge mismatch in the footwork department. For a big man that's nearly 300 pounds, I will give Tyson Fury his credit. He does have tremendous footwork. So, with the mismatch here in the footwork department, Tyson Fury should walk down Makhmudov, and Makhmudov does not have the best footwork in the heavyweight division. So have him box off the back foot, and he can become very flat-footed, and that could open the door for Makhmudov to make mistakes, and Tyson Fury can attack on those mistakes and use those mistakes to his advantage. That could honestly open the door for success. We know Tyson Fury has a long, stiff jab, uses his height and reach to his advantage, always has done that with a pretty jab in the heavyweight division. Land the power combinations to make Makhmudov rethink and think about what he could do next. And overthinking against one of the greatest heavyweights of this generation could open the door for a world of problems in that boxing ring. So that opens up the door for Tyson Fury to fight in the inside. If Tyson Fury can fight in the inside, it's his game all night long. And Tyson Fury in the heavyweight division has always been a dirty fighter in the inside. This is a guy that likes to get dirty in the paint, not dirty in the paint, dirty in the inside, and land some uppercuts and hooks to hurt his opponents. We've seen Tyson Fury do that time in and time out in his boxing career. And also what he does good in the inside, when he needs a breather, that nearly 300 plus pound frame, leaning on your opponents, breathing on them, and in the clinch, that wears your opponents down. And I think a guy like Makhmudov, if Tyson Fury is constantly, which I do believe he'll do, constantly leaning on him and clinching on him in the inside when he needs a breather, that could slow down Makhmudov. And that could honestly open the door for Tyson Fury to have success in the inside, land the hooks and land the uppercuts on the inside to hurt Makhmudov, score a knockdown or possibly a knockout. And last but not least, don't play with your food if you're Tyson Fury. Do not play with your food. You are streaming live on Netflix. I don't want to see you having fun in the ring. Look, you've been inactive since December 2024. You took a whole year off in the sport of boxing. You're not a spring chicken anymore. You're not getting any younger. You cannot afford to play with your food here because, like I said, Makhmudov is a B- C+ fighter at best, but you cannot afford to make mistakes here against Makhmudov. Tyson Fury is honestly riding a 2-fight losing streak. We cannot forget that. He's lost 2 times for the first time in his boxing career. You lose against Makhmudov, you might as well pack it up and call it a career because I wouldn't understand what could be next for Tyson Fury. So you cannot play with your food. And I seen Tyson Fury play with his food back in 2023 when he fought Francis Ngannou, the ex-heavyweight UFC heavyweight champion. And in Francis Ngannou's first boxing fight and his 3rd professional bout of his boxing career, dropped one of the greatest heavyweights of this generation, to Tyson Fury, flat to the ground, to the canvas. And was this close of honestly losing to Francis Ngannou. If he wasn't landing pity jabs or pity punches to wow the judges, or for a copy box stat, we would be talking about Tyson Fury having 3 professional losses in his boxing career. So we'll see what happens between these 2 respective fighters. But with that being said, I'm going to go with Tyson Fury to defeat Makhmudov by knockout this weekend in the sport of boxing, when that fight will be streamed live around the world on Netflix. Now, I think everybody knows that this is a tune-up fight for Tyson Fury. This is just for him to get his feet wet back in the sport of boxing, coming out of his 5th retirement in his boxing career. He's been inactive from the sport since December 2024. This fight is really for Tyson Fury to gain confidence and get his legs back underneath him against Makhmudov in the heavyweight division. And honestly, this is supposed to be a tune-up fight because we could possibly be talking about potentially getting the biggest UK fight in boxing history between Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua in the back end of 2026. And let's be honest, guys, Makhmudov is honestly a B- C+ fighter at best, like I just mentioned a few moments ago. And I do believe Tyson Fury will not rush for the KO victory. I think it will come naturally, and I think it'll take some rounds to get used to being back in the ring. So I don't think he will just rush to get the knockout. I think it will come naturally within round 7 and 9. Sports bettors out there, there's a perfect bet for the fight to end from round 7 and 9. But getting back on track, Tyson Fury will be the aggressor. I think he's going to be fighting coming forward because it's a huge mismatch in the footwork department between Tyson Fury and Makhmudov here. Makhmudov does not have good footwork, and I cannot see him having success fighting off the back foot, being very flat-footed against Tyson Fury. For a guy that's nearly 300 pounds, does have pretty good footwork in the heavyweight division. But Tyson Fury does have the height and the reach advantage to his advantage for this fight, so I think he's going to use the long jab to his advantage. I have said over the years that Tyson Fury does have a pretty jab, one of the best jabs in the heavyweight division, and I do think he will be the faster fighter, winning the counter-punching battle, being on time with his punches against Makhmudov in this fight. So Tyson Fury will also be fighting dirty in the inside. I've said this is one of the things that's made Tyson Fury special, fighting dirty in the inside over the years. He's going to land the hooks. He's going to land the uppercuts on the inside. And when this man needs a breather, this man is nearly 300 pounds. What does Tyson Fury like to do against his opponents? He likes to lean on them. He likes to clinch on them. And when you're fighting somebody, imagine if you're one of these heavyweight fighters that Tyson Fury shared the ring with, a Deontay Wilder, Alexander Usyk, a Derek Chisora, the list goes on and on. Imagine when Tyson Fury needs a breather, a big heavyweight is just sitting on top of you, breathing down your neck in the clinch. That wears the body down. So I think he's going to do that against a bigger fighter like Makhmudov. And I think Tyson Fury is just going to have his way. I think a natural knockout is going to come within round 7 to 9 to get his feet wet back in the sport of boxing, get used to fighting in different 3-minute rounds. And I think he's going to send a message to the heavyweight division and possibly call out Anthony Joshua for a future fight after he gets the victory against Makhmudov this weekend in the sport of boxing. But that is my Tyson Fury versus Makhmudov fight prediction for this weekend's fight taking place in the sport of boxing.